everything in this book is just bonkers. And thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we're at the start of another weekly reading vlog, and I am so excited for this reading vlog. So this reading vlog, as you would have seen maybe from the thumbnail, would I have put it in the thumbnail? I don't know, I normally just put reading vlog. Maybe. I haven't done the thumbnail yet. But anyway, this is going to be a romance reading vlog and I'm very excited. I have kind of 3 different type of romance books that I'm going into. I'm very excited. I have started one of them and I plan on starting another one tonight. So let's start with the one that I've started on, which would probably be a good place to start. That was a lot of starts in one sentence. Anyway, I have started reading The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I have this on my Kindle. This is fulfilling the category of contemporary romance and also a very popular romance, because when this one came out, loads of people were loving it. It was really hyped. It was everywhere. Everywhere you looked, there was someone talking about this book, and I wanted to try a popular romance author. So I did a poll on my Instagram. I had a choice between Emily Henry and Ali Hazelwood. Ali Hazelwood won. So then I did 2 books by Ali Hazelwood, and again the vote between those, and clearly Love Hypothesis won that one by a landslide. So this is me trying out contemporary romance. I mean, I've been trying contemporary romance, but trying contemporary romance that isn't rich people drama. Instead, this one is about women in STEM and a romance to do with that. So it's like science, technology, engineering and mathematics. For those of you that didn't know, because I did not know, it's a romance in STEM, and it's also, I think, based on Kylo Ren, the one from Star Wars, the new Star Wars films, the one, him. It is based on him. It's like a fan fiction romance of him. This was really popular, and this will be the first type of contemporary romance that I've read like this, and also by a popular author. So it works really well for that category that I wanted for this week. I have actually started this one, as I said. I have got up to chapter 4, so I'm not that far into it, but I'm enjoying it. I have to admit, the writing is juvenile. It makes our main character seem really, really juvenile. Now, she's in the middle of, I think it's her PhD, considering that she is at university and at a later stage in her university, because she's working on her thesis and things. It says that she has been in university for a good few years now. So you know, she's not young. I mean, she's young, but she's not really young in the way that the writing portrays her to be. So she comes across very juvenile, and the writing is at times a little bit cheesy. There's also been a typo with the wrong word used where it should have been say and it was said. Those things I pick up on. I notice them a lot. That all being said, I am enjoying this one. I am enjoying it, and I kind of want to just get back to reading it. I'm not going to. This is going to be my at work book and my traveling around book because it's my Kindle book. But yeah, weirdly, I'm enjoying this. So we're following our main character, Olive, like the tree. So we're following Olive. She ends up kissing a professor at the university who is seen as an absolute arse of a man. He is seen as really horrible, frequently makes people cry, and yeah, he just isn't a nice person. But his name is Adam. She just kisses him, and she doesn't realise it's him. She just runs and grabs the first person that she sees and kisses them, because she has lied to her best friend saying how she's completely over this guy that she was dating, which she is. She's not bothered by it. They weren't dating anymore because he then wanted to go out with her best friend, Anne, who didn't want to upset Olive and so wasn't going forward. And so to kind of be like, you know, it's fine, you can go with him, I'm over him completely, she was like, oh, I've got a date this evening anyway. And then Anne sees her, she's like, oh crap, I'm meant to be on a date, I'm not meant to be in the laboratory, like I can't be doing this. And so she grabs hold of the first person that she sees and just kisses him, and it turns out to be this absolute arse of a character. Then they start fake dating. So it's a fake dating trope. They kind of don't get on because he's the really cold person. It's a grumpy sunshine fake dating romance, and honestly it's entertaining. It's a really easy read, and while yes, it's cheesy and ridiculous at times and juvenile at times, it's also really fun and really easy to read. So yeah, so far, first impressions, I'm not mad about it. Although, can we please stop describing this gentleman as being ridiculously tall and like a mountain? There's been so many things, like height is something that's pointed out pretty much every single page when he's on the page. I mean, we get it. He's a tall person. He's well over 6 foot apparently, and I get that. But everything about him is described as large and tall. That's a little bit exhausting, which I knew going into this because that is one thing that everybody comments on, but it's not bad. So the next book I'm going to be moving on to is more of a historical based romance, and that is The Secret Service of Tea and Treason by India Halton. And this one, yeah, it's more of like a historical fiction romance, but not properly based on our history. It's just set in the past. This is going to be my of an evening book, so I'm looking forward to starting this one. I think again it's going to have that same kind of like funny ridiculousness to it, which I'm looking forward to. This one we're following Agent Alice, who's got to try and save the nation in between cups of tea, and again it's a bit of a fake dating, although not fake dating, fake marriage, because she and Daniel Bixby, who is also a spy and Alice's greatest rival, will have to work together and infiltrate this pirate party, and so they've got to be husband and wife to be able to infiltrate it. So again, you can see the theme. We're actually having a fake dating theme with these two books, but I mean one's fake marriage. But yeah, so I think that's going to be really interesting to read, and I think it's going to be really fun. I wasn't prepared for how small the typography was, but it'll be fine. I'm really hoping I get this one read. I've got this evening, which is Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday. But from Monday evening, Monday at midnight, I will no longer be reading this book. It's going to be going down. It's being put down until the end of the week. And even the other book, like Love Hypothesis, if I haven't finished it by then, it's going down. Everything's being put on hold for the fantasy romance book that I am the most excited about. And that is, of course, House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J Maas, which the release day for that is on Monday, well no, Tuesday the 30th, but I'm going to a midnight release at Waterstones, so I will be going to that, and so I'll be getting my grubby little hands on that copy bang on midnight, where I'll be starting this book. Am I a bit insane because it's going to be after an early shift? Of course, but am I still going to do it? You bet your ass I will. So yeah, so that is the plans for this week. We have contemporary romance, we have historical romance, and then a fantasy romance. So I think it's going to be a really fun mix of romance, and hopefully this vlog will be the vlog to determine whether romance books, I need to just realise I love them and they're fun and silly, and I'm going to read more of them, because I've always said that I am not a contemporary romance person, that in general I'm not a romance person, that I enjoy romance as a subplot, and that the only proper romance author that I will follow is Sarah J Maas, which we have to admit is fantasy romance. And I think this selection of romance will actually really help me decide what type of romance I love. Now we already know fantasy romance, well that's a little bit of fit because I already love that. I'm gonna love it. I know I'm going to love that book. It's fine. But it'll be really interesting to see if I get on with this sort of more historical set romance or contemporary romance, which one I prefer, or whether I just love them both. Like, that's what this week is all about, is reading all the romance books. You'll have to let me know. Are you someone that likes romance, or are you someone that likes romance as a subplot in your books, or are you someone that prefers no romance? Do you like a mix? Do you like having some romance books to break up some of the heavier books that you read and stuff? You'll have to let me know below, and also let me know if you've read any of these 3 books I'm going to be reading this week. Fingers crossed I get all of them read in time, but I also could have bitten off more than what I can chew, so I guess we're gonna find out. But that is it. I'm going to stop now because I'm hungry. I want to go do some food. I've still got a little bit of editing I want to get done, and then of course we need to get started with the reading. But I am so excited. I am back in my reading mojo and I am loving it. Last week was just really like, yes, we're really enjoying reading. We're really back. I started to get a little bit slumpy. I was a little bit worried, and I'm back. I am loving it. I am happy. I'm excited about everything I'm reading. Not that I was getting slumpy last week, but I started getting a little bit slumpy at the start of the year and I wasn't really feeling it. And now I am. Now I'm 100% back. And I have to admit, it's romance and YA books that have done that. Never would have guessed that for me, like ever, but it's really working out. So fingers crossed it holds this week and we're gonna have an amazing reading week. I will of course be bringing you with me for everything. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you're all doing really well. Let me know what you've been up to, what you're reading, and as said, how do you feel about romance in your books? Do you want a lot, a little? Let me know. I wasn't planning on updating today, but I've read so much and I really wanted to talk to you about it because I'm excited and I'm enjoying it, and I am in bed, ready for bed. I actually want to do a bit more reading, which is why I thought, you know what, actually no, I need to update you first because I have made really good progress with this today. I am so happy with it. I read obviously quite a good chunk last night, and then I also read a little bit more on my work lunch break. Like, I'm having a lot of fun. Let me put you down because this is awkward to hold. I never face this way because I can't put my tripod this way, and now I'm realizing I need to put you down. Hang on a minute. Okay, we change ends of the bed as well, so that way you have a nice background of my books and stuff. I have read, actually, before I start this, I have read a little bit more of The Love Hypothesis. Not much. I think I've only read a couple chapters. Where am I up to? I am up to chapter 9. So yeah, I only read an extra 5 chapters. I haven't made loads of progress, but I know that this is going to be one that I can just pick up, put down whenever. It's fine. It's still kind of what I said, a little bit juvenile at times. Like, some of the situations that they get into are just so ridiculous. It is so silly. I don't mind it. I'm kind of enjoying it, which brings me on to this book because, oh my god, this is so ridiculous. Also, it's actually fantasy romance. Fantasy historical romance. So it doesn't actually fit for having 3 different types of romance. Well, I suppose I could argue the fact that Crescent City, when I read that release, that is an urban fantasy romance, whereas this is historical fantasy romance. So can I stretch it? Am I stretching it? Yes, I am. But this is ridiculous. Okay, so I'm up to, where am I up to? I'm in the middle of a chapter. What chapter are we up to? We're up to chapter 12, page 139. And this is a lot of fun. It is so ridiculous. I can honestly say it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I think because the type of humour it is and how ridiculous it all is, it's very obvious as well in where this is kind of going. I feel like I don't think it's going to be everyone's cup of tea. Also, I feel like it would have benefited from reading the other 2 books first. However, this can also be read as a standalone. It's just there's clearly been some interactions between Alice and Daniel previously, which correlates to a couple of side characters in here who were not side characters. They were the main characters of their book, and Alice and Daniel were side characters in that book. So you can read them separately. I don't think it's that much of an issue. I think maybe I would have a bit of a better understanding of the magic system that's going on if I'd started with the first one maybe. It's a bit weird, a bit outlandish, but at the same time I'm just kind of going with it and I don't mind. And I'm so used to reading fantasy books with magic systems that don't always get explained that I don't mind it. Yeah, this book is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. So we know that Alice is a spy and that she gets partnered with Daniel and they have to be married or pretend to be married to go undercover at this pirate party. So we know that. And we start off the book meeting our 2 characters, and you do get both of their perspectives in this book, and it's just so stupid. Like, I love the mannerisms. Think about like Oscar Wilde or Jane Austen, you know, that sort of era, the mannerisms and everything, the way they talk and things. However, pair that with kind of, if you've seen the Mr. Bean movie where Mr. Bean has to be a spy, kind of reminds me of that. I'm not gonna lie, like some of the stuff that goes on, they're like, we're the best agents and all of this. They're also really bad. Like, they're so oblivious to things. It's unreal. And it's just like, how? And I feel, so hang on a minute, I should read my notes. Because I made notes on this book because I knew I would get so excited talking about it that it wouldn't really make sense. It's just so silly. And my first note is ridiculous. Okay, so set with mannerisms like a Jane Austen book. Correct, I said that bit. And it's laughing at itself. This book laughs at itself, and by that I mean it's kind of a parody of common tropes in books, such as a fake marriage, the one bed trope, those sort of like classic tropes, and it's so silly, like it's so ridiculous, and it frequently comments on things that makes the reader feel like you're inside of this joke and it's at our main character's expense. Like, there's quite a few times where it will comment on, so say like the one bed thing, it literally said if they had read more books, like more diversely instead of just the dictionary, they would know that of course this was bound to happen because, yeah, fake dating and everything. Like, I like that. I like feeling like we're inside the joke, and I think that's really funny. Like, we're a part of it, and the way it's narrated makes you aware of that, and I do like it. It is really silly, really funny. The book knows it's doing that. It is a little bit overdone at times, like pretty much every single page there's got to be some sort of silly joke, bit of ridiculousness going on, but at the same time it makes it really easy to read. It's really fast paced and fun, and it is just so silly. Like there are times when I am just like shaking my head at the ridiculousness of it all, and I know I keep saying that word a lot, but that is the only word I can think of to associate with this book. Like it is just so silly. I wasn't expecting it to be quite this ridiculous. I was expecting to find it funny because of the mannerism type of things and having the arranged marriage and them being spies and trying to deal with all of that, but I wasn't expecting the way the pirates are and how mad that all is. Like they are just bonkers. I wasn't expecting that. And also like their ships, you know, you have pirate ships. Yeah, it's not like that at all. Their houses that fly, and it's to do with the everything in this book is just bonkers. But I'm also having a really good time. It does help that we've got really short chapters, and actually at the start of each chapter, let me show you chapter 1 so it's not any spoilers. Oh yeah, okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute as well. Start of each chapter you get this, and what this is a summary of what's happening. So in chapter 1, I'll just do the first 2. We have extreme expectations and Miss Dearlove attempts an opinion, and then it has a few more, and it just gives you kind of like bite-sized chunks of what's going to come, or like one-word sentences of things and events that's going to happen in that. I've only seen that happen in one other book, and that is the Memoirs of Lady Trent series by Marie Brenner. I'm pointing this way because they are actually behind me, but it's the only other book that I've seen that in, so that's really fun. I don't always read them because I kind of like not knowing what's going to come, but that's really good. And honestly, what kind of sets the tone for this book is at the very start of the book you do actually get a table of significant characters, and I'm just going to read out the first few because I was like, oh okay, that'll be interesting, that's handy. I wasn't expecting it to be quite this. Well, I guess you'll see. We have Alice Dearlove, a professional woman. Primula Tweaks, I'm probably mispronouncing that, a lady of Laton and a pain in La Croupe, which is just hilarious. I like that. Then we have Daniel Bixby, a bibliomaniacal assassin. Delilah Weekle, pretty in pink. And there's just a few other ones. One of them is characterized as a wannabe villainess. We have Tedium Incarnate, charm on 2 tightly trousered legs, which is just, oh, I love that. It's just so good. And the last one is a return to ignorance. Like, it's just really funny. I really like that. I haven't seen that in a book before, and it just kind of sets the tone for the sort of humour that you're going to get in this book. And yeah, just know that this book is decidedly bonkers, and yeah, that's it. So it's not going to be for everyone, because I know not everyone wants that in a book. Like, not everybody wants humour and that type of humour. I think humour's supposed like books, to be fair. It's very just dependent on your tastes and what you prefer, but I'm enjoying it. Do I think it's going to be a new favourite? I don't know, but do I think it's going to be like the Stranger Times, which again I'm pointing because it's up there, where it's a really funny, ridiculous book that I can read to break up my other bigger book? Yeah. And so I probably will end up getting the other 2 books, depending on how the rest of this book goes, because it's just a lot of silly fun. You don't really need to have a lot of like thoughts. You don't need to be paying attention. I mean, you can have thoughts, but I mean, like, you don't need to really focus in on what's happening. It's so easy to read. And there's been a few books that are like that now. So I think maybe eventually I'm going to do a video on books that are just for fun. And this is definitely one. Now the dog is just about to start barking. He's getting ready. So I'm going to get going. We'll probably update you maybe tomorrow once I arrive at the hotel. I'm not sure. Maybe it will just be B-roll of the midnight release, actually, and then I can update you once I've started Prison City 3 or House of Flame and Shadow. Oh, that's it. They're gone. Okay, we're gonna go. See you later. midnight release last night for House of Flame and Shadow, and it was good fun. I will say it was really busy and it wasn't that well organised, and I think for the amount of people there, it was a very small space. You know, it was good fun. There was lots of different things going on, but it wasn't really made clear that, like, how it was all working. So it was good, it was fun, but it just could have been like a bit more organised, with somebody maybe like telling you how it was all going to work, rather than it just kind of being like a free-for-all that didn't really make much sense. And there was lots of people and stuff, and I'm fine in those sort of environments, but it was very small. So yeah, it was good. I'm pleased I went. I don't think I would go again to that sort of thing, but it was absolutely lovely being able to get hands on the physical copy at midnight. Like, that was really good. I enjoyed that. There was a whole countdown to it and everything, and the way they set up, like, obviously you would have seen from the b-roll, but like they had different things going on around the Waterstones, so it was good. It was just a little bit busy, a little bit chaotic, but it was good time. But of course we get on to reading news, because I of course have started this. I will say there is going to be no spoilers in this. Like, not everyone's going to have a chance to have read this. I just got really lucky that I could take the time off work to do so, and the midnight release and everything, but also not everyone's going to have a chance to read this, so no spoilers. And if you have read it, no spoilers in the comments below. Do you want to talk about it, then you can always message me on like Instagram or something, but I would rather no spoilers at all, because that's a bit unfair on everyone else. I will say where I'm up to though. I am up to chapter 24, page 245, and I'm really liking it. Whether I'm actually going to get this all finished in the amount of time that I've got, I don't know. My partner's currently at work, and then we're meeting up for dinner. We'll see, but I am really enjoying it. It's really good. The only thing I will say is it does take place straight after the events of the second book, which I really like and I'm really happy with, and I actually like the focus and how everything's gone on. If you've read that second book, you would know what's happening at the end of it, and I like the point of views that we're getting and the focus on it so far. Obviously I still have quite a way to go, because this is a chunky book, but I am enjoying it. I think it's really good. I really like it. I mean, it's the thing with Sarah J. Maas, like I've said it all the time whenever I talk about her books, like I am a bit of a fangirl when it comes to her books. I really like them. I really enjoy them. Is it the best written thing out there? No. Could things be tightened up a little bit in other places, and do some things feel really info dumpy in that? Yes, but it is kind of what I expect. Like, I'm here for the characters because I love the characters. That's really good, and that's what I'm getting, and we're actually getting a point of view that I was highly excited about. I'm so pleased that we're actually getting in this book. Definitely was one that I wanted to be developed more. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how this is gonna go. So I'm really pleased with that. Like I say, I am gonna keep it spoiler free, although I do plan on spending the next few hours just chilling out reading. I think I've got about another 4 hours before my partner gets back, so we're gonna see how much I can actually get read. Oh, and the Love Hypothesis. I have made quite good progress with the Love Hypothesis. I'm actually almost finished with that book, and I am enjoying it. It's really, well, everything I've already said. It is juvenile and silly, but I also do like it. I like this third act conflict that's happened, which is a common thing that happens in every romance book. Well, I say in every romance book as if I've read loads, and so I definitely know this. Like, I don't, but it's something that always happens where you have a conflict between your two love interests that causes the romance that's blossoming to be put on hold, to go through some sort of shaky territory, so that at the end of the book they all make up and it's all okay again. So it's like, it's predictable, you know what's going to happen. I think the plot line of what's happening with the third act conflict, that for me was also predictable, but I don't mind that. Like, I didn't go into this book wanting to be amazed with all the plot twists and turns and stuff. Like, Miss Sarah J. Maas, she's got that covered at the moment. Like, I'm really enjoying how that's unfolding. So the Love Hypothesis, I didn't go into it knowing that, so I don't mind. This is very predictable for me. It's still a fun, enjoyable read. I will be putting it down for the next couple of days. I'll pick it back up again on Thursday, just so I can actually focus on House of Sky and Breath, of course, because I really am loving this book. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and actually, to be fair, I can't say I'm loving the Love Hypothesis, but I am having fun with it. So all 3 books that I'm reading this week, I have been having fun with. I've really been enjoying. I'm looking forward to getting back to the other physical book, which has a really long title whose name I constantly forget. I'm not gonna lie. I'm also a bit tired because I haven't slept much, because first thing I did when I got back from the midnight release is sit down and read this. I read for like an hour and a bit, so it was like 1 in the morning. I had been up since 5:30 for work, and then my partner was again up because he had an early shift today, so we were up again at 5:45. So I haven't slept much, but I'm not feeling too tired, I think, because I'm just resting and reading. It's not like I'm doing anything strenuous. I do not plan on leaving this hotel room today, which, you know, is why we got all the snacks yesterday as well, so that we could keep me stocked until my partner gets back, and then he'll force me to actually go outside in the world, which is probably a good idea because I would happily just stay in a little hermit cave of this room so that I can read this book. I'm not going to bother showing you the room. It's a very basic hub hotel. It's literally just bed, bathroom, that's it. It does what I want, so I'm very happy with it. I'm enjoying my time. So yeah, I'm gonna get straight back to reading. I'm actually thinking to do some snacks. I've already munched my way through a few of the things, but I'm feeling a bit hungry, so I think we're gonna set up for some snacks and reading, and yeah, let's read some more of this book. I hope if you have got your hands on House of Flame and Shadow, do let me know if you have enjoyed it, but as I said, no spoilers. I really want this spoiler free. I'm not interested in that. I'm not even going to give you anything to do with this book apart from whether I'm enjoying it or not, because I know I was very excited for this book, and I know lots of other people are. I also know people that can't read this book yet until like later in the month, and I would be very upset if someone started talking about spoilers about a book that I'm very excited about. So that's enough, I think. I've laid the foundation pretty firm for no spoilers. I'm sure half of you wouldn't anyway. I love the community we've got going here on this channel, so I'm sure you wouldn't. But right, okay, I'm gonna stop rambling and get straight back to reading because I'm enjoying it so much. And I have finished House of Flame and Shadow. Honestly, I haven't read a big book like this in such a short amount of time for a long time, and it was really, really fun. I would definitely be doing a reread of this book because, as I've mentioned, I think I even mentioned it in last week's vlog, I do have a habit of when I'm really excited for a book, I read so fast that I do miss some things. So I know that it's definitely probably happened with this book. But just some thoughts, like I say, no spoilers or anything for this book, but just a few thoughts that I've had is, one, I do really love it. I love the characters, which we know I was going to love. I do like the way they did the reveal that happened at the end of the second book, the way that all tied in. I do like that. I don't think it was too much, but just kind of like just enough, and you can see where things can go further with that. Being really vague, sorry. But yeah, I think I can definitely see why it was there and how that is going to have an impact on future books. So that's going to be really good and really interesting to see. And then, yeah, I think a few things with the plot, like some parts of it were a bit rushed. Some parts I felt were a little bit slow and a little bit dragged out. This book isn't as romance heavy though, so it doesn't really work for my read and romance vlog. But there was parts of romance in it, like it's definitely still there. You do have the new romance that comes to pass with a couple of characters, which I really liked. I liked the exploration into that, but it definitely wasn't like the second book where there was a lot more romance forward. This one was more plot driven than anything else, and I understand why, because we really need to get to certain things happening, certain events, and we need to like try and move that all forward in a way that makes sense, and I think it was done pretty good. Like, I can't complain. Is it the best? No. When we think about like in terms of plot line, there were definitely things that were pacing bit slow here, bit fast there, but I read these for pure enjoyment, and I got that, and I really enjoyed the last couple days. Like today, obviously I finished it up today, and then yesterday just being able to just put that time aside and read. So yesterday I read the first 500 pages of this and then finished it out today, and I just had a great time. So yeah, I'm really pleased I did this. Like, it's definitely more of an extravagant thing for me, booking a hotel and going to the midnight release and doing all of that. Like the midnight release, I was gonna say, like, this isn't something I'd normally do. Midnight releases don't normally happen, but definitely like booking a hotel just so I can huddle up and read all day, like that is something I've never done before. But it was so good and so fun. I really enjoyed it. I worked my way through a lot of those snacks, so that was good. And yesterday me and my partner went out for a really nice Indian that we found, so that was actually pretty good. We've been talking about trying it, well, my partner had been talking about trying it for a little while, and we finally just did it, and that was really nice. Didn't end up filming that because I just wanted to have a bit of time with me and my partner, considering I had been ignoring him just to read this book. So yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I feel like reading this in 2 days is an accomplishment. Like, it's massive. Do I recommend it? No, because like I say, I know there's parts of this book that I haven't taken in fully. I do personally find, for me, some people are really fast readers and they retain everything all the time. For me, if I slow down with a book and give myself like breathing room between reading things, I take it in so much better, and I tend to remember things a lot better. So like even some of the parts of this book, like I've just finished it and there was a lot that happened in here, and I can tell you what happened, but the intricacies, the nuances, I know there would have been like smaller things that I would have missed just because of how quick I read it. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, I had a good fun time reading this book. It was what I wanted it to be. It was everything I wanted, and I loved it. I really enjoyed this one, so that's great. Now that book's out the way, we're going to go back to finishing The Love Hypothesis, which I plan on doing tomorrow at work, because I have one more early shift, because for some reason I decided to take off 2 days to read this and didn't think about the fact that if I just took off 1 extra day, so tomorrow, I would then have 8 days off in a row, and I didn't think about that. I was so excited to read this book that I didn't even think about that at all. So I had however many days at work I've done, like 4 days at work. Yeah, I've done 4 days, 2 off, and then I'm going back for 1 day to then have 5 days off. Bit weird, kind of regretting it considering that I stayed up late reading and I'm meant to be up early tomorrow. And I'm not feeling tired, and for my early shifts I should be going to bed in about 2 hours time, and I'm not tired enough for it. So it's going to be an interesting day at work. We'll see how that goes. Where was I getting to? Oh yeah, that's what that tangent really threw me off what I was talking about. But yes, so tomorrow I've got that 1 day at work, so I'm going to be finishing The Love Hypothesis on my lunch break. I don't have much of that book left. I think I've got like 30 minutes, so that works out perfectly for my lunch break. Then we'll work on the next book, which is The Secret Service of Tea and Treason, which I also don't imagine taking me long because it's so fun and fast paced, and I've got like 140 pages left to go roughly from the looks of it, and that I will probably work on a little bit tomorrow evening. Although tomorrow evening I do want to upload a video and I want to go to gym, and I'll probably start working on this vlog. So I've got a few things I want to do tomorrow evening, so I probably won't read loads of it, but Friday I'm busy. But I have got quite a bit of travelling to do, so I'm probably going to take this with me for travelling. Those are the plans. I haven't actually even showed off this book, so this is the book. There is nothing. I feel like Waterstones could have done so much with this book, but I feel like they didn't, and I have a theory on why they didn't put any extra effort. So like no sprayed edges, nothing under the dust jacket and stuff, because they know this book's going to sell either way. So they don't need to invest in doing that. And that's what I personally believe. Like the first one out of this series has red sprayed edges, but they didn't bother with the second or with this one. And I just feel like you could have at least done the sprayed edges so that they match, rather than just having one book with sprayed edges and the others not. But again, Sarah J Maas is so massive that she doesn't actually need anything extra done to her books to get people to buy them, because they know they're going to be bought anyway. Tangent aside, we do have the lovely cover, and then like I say, there is nothing on the edges, nothing under the dust jacket, but we do have these really cool end papers which I really liked, and they are slightly different on the other side, not by much. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy I've got it. I've got all this series in hardback just because I don't like the paperbacks. I really don't like the paperbacks. I like the paperback, the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, so I've got all of those in paperback. And then I've got Throne of Glass in hardback because I bought the new set. and I have this series, Crescent City series, in hardback. It's just the way I like it. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. This was only meant to be a really quick update to say that I'd finished this and I was very excited, and I've gone on lots of little tangents. I think I'm actually going to take the dog out for a walk and then try and just like relax, maybe settle down with a bit of Animal Crossing, and hopefully I'll be feeling tired enough that I should be sleeping soon. We'll see how it goes. I have had a good couple of days. I had work on Thursday. After work I did go to the gym, and then I made myself a little naan pizza bread. Are so easy and fun and cheap to do, and they taste so good because you can have whatever you want on it. So that was really fun. And then I went to my dad's house, played some board games, and we had more pizza, this time Domino's pizza. And I have to admit, out of the two, I preferred my naan pizza bread. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed that. But the board games that we played were a lot of fun. We tried this escape room board game and it was so much fun and so hard. It was good, it was very entertaining, so I did enjoy that. And of course I have finished a couple of books. So as I said, I was planning to finish The Love Hypothesis on my lunch break at work on Thursday, which I managed, and it was just a lot of fun. Like, that's what this book is. It's ridiculous and juvenile but fun, and I think as long as you go into it knowing it's not anything serious, knowing it's not going to take itself seriously, because it does make jokes about, oh, this would be a perfect rom-com book if you were in one and stuff, and obviously that's what you're reading, then it's good. It's good fun. It's just silly and light-hearted, and it makes a good, just entertaining reading time, and that's exactly what I wanted from it, and that's what I got. So I'm really pleased with that. It's definitely shown me that I should try more contemporary romances, not just rich people drama, but just general contemporary romances, because it was a lot of fun. Do I think this is going to be a book I'll reread? Probably not, but it did what I wanted it to. It was very entertaining for the time that I was reading it. It worked in showing me that contemporary romance can be really fun and really good, and maybe I should give some of these popular authors more of a try. I didn't expect to enjoy this book how much I did, but it was really fun. Do I think it's a perfect book? No, because there's definitely things that could be different, and the repetitive descriptions of Adam being this tall hulking person, it was a lot, but it was fun and, like I say, entertaining, so that worked. It was good. It was a good time. It surprised me. I didn't think I would like it. I went into this thinking I'm probably not going to like this, and then I did enjoy it, and it was just a lot of fun. So yeah, that worked. I was very surprised at that. And yesterday, during all my travels, I finished The Secret Service of Tea and Treason by India Holton, and this was also just a lot of fun. This was absurd. It was absolutely bonkers. I didn't really know what was going on half the time, but it was so much fun. I really enjoyed our two main characters, the way that their sensibilities were, and it was just so much fun. Like, I know I keep saying that this reading week, but that's what it's been. It's just been a really fun, entertaining, easy reading week, and that's exactly what I wanted this week to be. This has shown me that, again, like, I can enjoy different types of romance books. Like, this is historical fiction, bit of fantasy elements, but also very humorous. It doesn't take itself seriously. Like I said, it's almost like you're on the inside of a joke that's at the expense of our two main characters that even the side characters are aware of, and it's just a lot of fun. I think if I'd read other other two books first, I would have a bit more of an understanding of the magic system in this, but I also didn't find it that hard to grasp, mainly because our main characters don't really know what's going on with it. Like, it's done in a way that is absurd. It's not going to make sense. So if you're someone that needs a more structured magic system where it actually makes sense, then this probably isn't going to be for you, because it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. It's not really explained. Whether it gets more explained in the first two books, I don't know. I mean, like, you can read these as standalones, but you do have the two female leads from the first two books play a part in this book, only as like little side characters. You can definitely see it's there, and you see the way their stories ended. I mean, romance books, I feel like it's pretty obvious the way they're going to end anyway, but you do see that. So if you wanted to go in not knowing that, then maybe reading these in order and starting off with the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels is a good idea. But I had fun with this. I think it was really good, and I didn't mind that I read it out of order, because technically you can. I do want to continue on and read those other two books. I'll probably read them in order now, but I think what I'm going to do first is actually finish the Stranger Times series, because the humour in this reminded me of the humour in the Stranger Times series. Very different books. Stranger Times is a paranormal mystery. Got that same humour to it that I liked from this book. I think that's what I would do, is finish that series first and then pick up these, because of the fact that it does a similar job with the humour. To be honest, I may change my mind and be like, you know what, actually I'm really in the mood to read more of this world, so I'm going to pick up the next one. We'll base it on my mood, but it was really fun, really enjoyable, very entertaining. I would say if you like a bit of humour in your books, if you are fine with a bit of absurdness, then give this one a try. Maybe start with the first book instead. You'll have to let me know if you've actually read this series, if you've read any of the books. You'll have to let me know, but this was good. This was really fun. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, this was great. And I am wrapping up the vlog here. So of course, the other book I finished this week is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J Maas. And as I said, I've already given you my initial feelings about this book, and that's all I'm going to give you for it, because it is a new release. I'm pleased that I was able to have that time just to sit there and binge read this book. Like I say, I will reread it at a slower pace to take in all the little details, but that'll be at a later date. It won't be anytime soon. But I did have a lot of fun with this one. I think it sets up well for what's going to potentially happen in other books, and yeah, that is all I'm going to say on it, because I don't want to go into any spoilers, not even the small ones. So yeah, overall I've had a great reading week, and this was an experiment to see, do I like different types of romance books? As much as I did say this one is a bit of a cheat, because I know I like fantasy romance, especially Sarah J Maas books, although this one didn't actually have much of the romance in. This was a lot more plot forward. The other two books were a little dip into different types of romance, and it's proven that actually I do really like romance in my books, not just as a subplot, not just in the fantasy worlds, but just in general. I like romance, and I just find them fun, easy, entertaining reads, and sometimes that's all you want from a book. So I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased with how this week went. You'll have to let me know, have you read any of these books? What do you think about romance in your books? I know I've already asked that earlier in the vlog, but you know, are you somebody that likes a lot of romance? A little bit of a mix? Like, I can say that, do I want to read only romance books forever? No, but then I feel that way with every single book. Like, I like murder mysteries, I like fantasy books, I like classic books, but do I want to read any of those just solely on their own? No, I like a mix, and now I'm just realising, you know what, we're going to add romance more firmly into that, because it was so much fun, and it's really saved my month. Like, the reading month didn't start off the strongest for me. I had a couple of flops, and since I changed it up and I started focusing a lot on just enjoying books and reading young adult and romance, and it's just really worked. It's been so much fun. But I am going to leave it there, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you've made it this far, then let's put a little teacup in the emoji below. No, in the comments below if you've made it this far or you just don't know what to comment. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you that takes the time to watch these videos. So if you have enjoyed it, please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribe and commenting. Those three things really help this channel grow. My social media links and anyone I've mentioned will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the very next video.